Welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing a recipe that I already have online, but I put it online when I first started. So I mean, when you visually look at it, it's not really clear enough, and half of the recipe for some reason is missing. So I'm going to go ahead and redo it. I'm going to be doing stuffed cabbage today, which is not really hard to do, but it's kind of lengthy. So let's get started with the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need whatever it is, the kind of meat that you're going to be stuffing it with. Now, you can stuff it with chicken, you can stuff it with seafood, or you can stuff it with beef, ground beef. And I'm using ground beef, ground pork, and ground Italian sausage. You don't have to use all of that. You can just stuff it with ground beef and just leave it at that. But I wanted a little bit of extra meat flavors in there, so I'm using 3 different types of meat. I'm going to use prego sauce instead of using marinara sauce or homemaking my tomato sauce. I'm going to use prego because that's always been my tomato sauce of choice. So I'm going to use that. Worcestershire sauce, 2 eggs, green pepper, red pepper, and onion. Now, you can omit all of this and your stuffed cabbage is still going to be good. If you add all of this, it just gives you extra flavor. But you can omit every bit of this and it's still going to be good. Here are the main ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need the cabbage, of course, some diced tomatoes. You're going to need some rice, and I haven't decided whether I want to put the rice in the stuffed cabbage or if I want to just do a pot of rice separately and use it as a side dish. The ingredients as far as seasonings is concerned that you're going to need, and these are very important to get you real good flavor. You're going to need onion powder, oregano, thyme, garlic, and of course my all-time favorite seasoning in the world, onion soup mix. And you're going to need some salt and pepper if you like. Now, these are the ingredients that you must have in order to have flavorful stuffed cabbage. So since this is kind of a lengthy project, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll go chop up everything and get everything prepared, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm at the stove and I'm waiting on my water to come up to a boil so I can start to put my cabbage in, and I'll show you that step in a minute. But in this pan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of the olive oil to the skillet, and I'm going to go ahead and saute up my vegetables, which is going to be my green pepper, red pepper, and my onions. And the only thing I want to do is to get them just a little bit limp, so that it'll be easier for me when I get ready to put it inside of my meat for my that's going to go in my stuffed cabbage. Okay. Now we're just going to let that cook for a little while. All right. Now over here, I want to show you that I did this at the table. Now, the cabbage has been washed. What you want to do is you want to cut this bottom core off of the cabbage. Once you cut the bottom core off of the cabbage, then you want to dig out the core. See the core right there? You want to dig that out. See? That's what I did. I dug it out with my knife. And all you have to do is to center your knife around it. Just keep on taking it around until you get that core out, because you don't want the core in. Now, when you put this in water, and I'm going to put in a little bit of salted water because I didn't think about that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of salt to the water. There you go. Now, when you put this in water, the leaves are going to start to peel off once the heat hit it. Now, what you're looking for is you want this to get limp enough for you to be able to stuff it with your ground beef mixture. Now, that's not going to be hard to do. So I got a little bit of a boil. If you can look in the pot, see, it's just a little bit of a boil. But it's okay for me to put this in now. So I'm going to go ahead and put my cabbage down over in that boil. And what's going to happen is my leaves, now these first 2 leaves, they were already coming off. But the rest of my leaves are going to go ahead and they're going to start to fall off. And when they fall off, I'm going to put them inside of this bowl. And then I'm going to take them back to the table in order to stuff my cabbage. Now here's all of the seasonings that I named out to you when I was at the table. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to add just about a tablespoonful to my vegetables that I have in there in that skillet. And one thing that I didn't mention, which you really don't need it, you can not use it or you can use it, but I pretty much always use it, is I'm going to add a tablespoon of minced garlic. Now because you have garlic powder, you don't have to do that, but I'm doing it because I always want just a little bit of extra flavor, or all the flavor I can get. So I'm going to let these get limp. And don't do what I'm doing. You're never supposed to have a Teflon finished or a no-stick pan and you're supposed to use a spoon with it. Nope, you're supposed to use wooden utensils with it. But I didn't have one right at hand, so I'm using that. Now, I'm going to just be here, and once these start to peel away, see how this one is peeling away? Now these 2 that's peeling away, they were never connected to the cabbage. So you're going to see it with, I'm going to bring you back once it truly starts boiling. It takes about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to bring you back. And I'm going to I'm going to let you see the leaves start to fall away. And as they begin to fall away, I'm going to take them and then just put them in the bowl. Okay? So I'll bring you back when it's cooked just enough to fall away. Be right back. Okay, now bell peppers and onions have the best aroma coming from it. And you know when you make spaghetti and you add those peppers to your spaghetti, your house be smelling food good. So this is really beginning to smell. Now I want you to look over here at this pot. See, they're starting to come off. So that one is off. So I'll just take it out and I'll put it in the pan. Now if you can pull away one, then get it. But if you can't, don't worry about it because it'll pull itself away. There's one. And I have 2 cabbages, so when I get through with this cabbage, I'm going to do the next cabbage. And I'm just going to do the outer leaves, and I'm going to do something different with the inner leaves, and I'll show you that. So I'm going to stay here and wait when another one peels off. You can even take them off but you don't really have to worry about it. Because once they get loose enough, see how that's peeling from the end? I can take it now. Or if you want to wait until it comes all the way off, you can wait. Okay? And these are the leaves that you need, the outer leaves. Just take them and put them in a bowl or a dish, whatever you have, you know, sitting right next to you. Just put them there. So I'm going to continue to get these off. And once I get them all off, if you wait 5 minutes, like I could have waited 5 minutes, and then it would have just came off, but I can go ahead and just pull them. There you go. Okay, and I'll keep on doing that, and I'll meet you back at the table. Now, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to allow it to cool. So by the time I get through pulling these cabbage leaves, this should be cool enough for me to add it to my meat mixture. So I'll meet you back at the table. Alrighty, now I'm back at the table, and I'm going to go ahead and start adding my ingredients for my stuffed cabbage. So this is a half of a can of tomatoes. Now you don't have to use it, but you can use it. I'm trying to see how much of a can. Okay, it looks like this is 14. This is 14 ounces. I only used half a can because I'm going to use the other half in my side dish. So this is half of a can of tomatoes, diced tomatoes. That's all I used. And this, I'm going to use about a cup of the prego sauce. That's all, just about a cup. Then my vegetables that you saw me, let me move some of my stuff. Okay. My vegetables that you saw me saute up, I'm going to go ahead and add them to my ground beef, my ground sausage, which is Italian sausage, and my ground pork. And then I'm going to add half of my seasonings. Now, as always, you know that I will put your ingredients at the bottom of the page. Okay? Alrighty. Now I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce. Shire. And however you want to pronounce that word, do so. And this is about 2 tablespoons of that. Now, I have 2 beaten eggs sitting in front of me. So the only thing I'm going to do now is to mix this up. And with everything that you saw me put in there, you're going to get all those good flavors. Now, you don't have to, again, I say, you don't have to use as much as I did. You can do this with just ground beef. You don't have to put all of those ingredients in it. But if you want a really tasty stuffed cabbage, which is what I want, then go ahead and use it. Or if you want to do it like for a Sunday or something like that, go ahead and do it. That's just my oven. You're going to preheat your oven at 350 degrees. You're going to allow this to cook for an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. All right. Now I've got that all mixed in, and now I'm going to add in this egg. You don't have to put an egg in it. I'm putting an egg in mine. So if you want to follow me on the recipe, you can. If it's some ingredients that you don't have, if I've told you that you don't have to put it in there, don't worry about it. Or if you want to change, once you see me do this, then the recipe becomes yours. And you do what your family want to see you do. Okay. All of that is mixed up. Now that I have that all mixed up, I'm going to allow that to sit for a minute. Take off my gloves, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm back, and this was the inner cabbage. This was the part of the cabbage that I did not use. So what you're going to do with that is you're going to take it, and you're just going to rough chop it up. And you're going to make a bed out of it inside of your pan. Okay? Now you're making a bed to sit your actual cabbage rolls down on. Okay? So you just rough chop it. Then cut it one time. You can do it as many times as you like, but one time is really enough. And then just go ahead and make a bed out of it to sit your cabbage on. Or your stuffed cabbage part. You're going to sit on that. Now you're going to eat this. Because we're not going to throw away anything. You know me, I really don't like throwing away anything. I try to utilize everything. And some of your best dishes may be made with stuff that you already have in your kitchen or already have in your refrigerator. Okay, I'm going to use some of this as well. Okay. Now, if you don't want to make a bed out of your cabbage that you have left over, put it in your refrigerator, and later on in the week, go ahead and cook some cabbage. Because that's something you already have. Now, once I get that, there is my cabbage and that I'm making a bed out of. And I'm going to take my seasonings that I have, and I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit. down on my cabbage because I'm going to eat this. Alrighty. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to go away again and clean up my cutting board. Then I'll be back and I'll show you how to stuff these cabbage. Be right back. Okay, now this little stem part right here on the cabbage, I'm going to cut that out. Okay. Now, once I cut it out, I'm going to overlap that. Okay. Then I'm going to take some of my stuffing and I'm going to place it in the cabbage. Then I'm going to do like a diaper fold. Place it up just a little bit. You come up with a diaper. You come over, and you roll. Okay? And that's the same thing that I did. And then I'm going to place it inside on my bed of cabbage. Now, you know that your bed of cabbage is going to shrink. The reason why it's going to shrink, because you know, once the steam and once the heat hit the cabbage, it starts to sink. So this is going to go down a little bit in the pan. If you follow me, it won't be sticking up like it is here. So I'm going to do a couple of more just to show you. Now, you don't have to take this little stem out, but it's better to take it out because it's easier for you to actually fold. And remember, you didn't cook this cabbage all the way. So this little part is still, you know, maybe a little bit rigid. So you're going to cut it out. You're going to overlap your flap. Then you're going to take and put in some of your stuffing. Okay, I'm going to put it in. I'm going to diaper fold. I'm going to take it up. Bring it over again. Get that little bit of the stuffing that I had. I thought I got it. Okay, there. And then you're going to roll it up. Okay? And then when you roll it up, you're going to put it inside your container. One more, and then I'm going to go away and do them all. And the reason why I don't do, you know, any more in front of you is because I don't want the video to be too long. As long as you see exactly what you do, you don't need to see me do it again and again and again. So you take that out, and it cuts out just like a V. You overlap. Make sure that you overlap. That's an important step. Because if you don't overlap, then it's going to be sitting like this and you're going to spill some. I'll show you. Well, I really probably shouldn't, but I'll show you if you don't overlap. If you don't overlap, you're going to have it like this. And yeah, and see what happens? And some of my mixture may come out. See what happens? That's not good, okay? So you want to overlap. So you're going to overlap it. Take your mixture, put it there, fold it up, bring it in, and then tighten it. That's where you take it and you flip it. Okay? And then you put it down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away, finish this up. Once I get this all done, I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I'm going to add, I have like 4 cups of prego right here, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar to that. You don't have to add that as well, but I like my prego. That seems to be the ingredient that is missing, and my family likes it when I add that to it. And I want to show you how much, like I'm going to make another dish out of this. I might even stuff some and then freeze them. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but that's how much ground up meat that I actually had left. And this is how many I got out of the pan. Now, you won't use, like I said, as much as I'm using, so it'll probably be a little bit different for you. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my tomato sauce all over this. Okay. Now that looks real good. I want to make sure that I use all of it if I can. Okay, now I'm going to, yeah, that's good. Like I said, I'm going to put it in the 350-degree oven for roughly an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, this is really good enough. And I can spread this with my hands because I have on a glove. Okay? That's good. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some parchment paper, and I'm going to put a layer of parchment paper down on top of that. And then on top of the parchment paper, I'm going to put some aluminum foil. And then I'm just going to place it in the oven. Now, you might ask, why did you put the parchment paper down? Because there's acid in tomato sauce. And what tomato sauce will do is, have you ever pulled off your aluminum foil when you had something cooking that had tomato sauce in it, and on this side of it is dark? That's because that acid from that tomato sauce will eat a hole in that aluminum foil. So you want to cover it, put something else, cover it over it first. So there you go. And I'm going to seal this up and put this in the oven. Now, halfway through, I might bring you back and let you take a look and see what it looks like, or I may just finish it out. Anyway, I'll be back and show you the next step. Okay, now it's out. I just took it out of the oven. And there it is. And I'm going to take out one so you'll be able to see. And this cooked for roughly about, really it was just under 2 hours that it cooked. Okay, and there is one. And I'm going to take out some of the cabbage to go on the plate. Now, this wasn't, I made a side dish with rice, and I'm going to show it to you, but next time I'm going to post a recipe for it. There it is right there. I took the leftover meat that I had, and then I added it to some rice, and I put it down on this. I'm going to put it on the plate with just a little bit of the cabbage and then some of the rice. But I want to cut this open so you can see exactly how it came out. There you go. There you go. There you have it. Chris is making stuffed cabbage rolls. Okay. Alrighty, I do have this online. As I told you, I'm going to remove that one so we can put up an updated version. And I think you're truly going to enjoy this if you try it. And as always, thank you for watching. Chris Cook for you too. Bye.